Hello, 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 and welcome to the Wednesday live stream, everybody. Bam. We got
Hey, hey.
got a couple people watching so far. We'll let people kind of get in and hop on. And hi to Nicholas Walters on Facebook checking in. Last month we weren't able to do the multi-stream, so YouTube and Facebook missed out. But this month it's working, and we normally do the first Wednesday of the month, but this May kind of snuck up on us. So here we are, second Wednesday of the month. We got Doolin in the house. Yo, what's up?
Always count on Doolin.
Always. Can you believe?
Ye-
So,
Eddie Doolin.
can you guys believe how long we've been a band?
Uh, yeah, I, well, no, I guess I can't believe it. Like, I've thought about it, and I'm just like, it doesn't seem like that long.
I've been seeing a lot of like memories pop up. Like that photo I posted of Javi today was in. I think it was at in this moment when we played Cannery, the Nashville date. It was like 7 years ago, and I was like, oh my god, 7 years since we did all that. It's crazy.
Wait, the sold out show?
That sold out was that was different one. Oh yeah, right.
Oh
Sold out
yeah,
was
yeah.
Hailstorm because in this moment
Yeah.
was not. I don't think it was a sellout. Um, but I remember Hailstorm was, and that was like 10 years ago. Like that's mind blowing to me. Like we're still like doing our thing, and Hailstorm has gone on to like worldwide fame, and we're still like,
They
remember
were
that
already,
time?
like,
They
kind of
were
big,
already big. Oh, for sure, they were already big.
but it
But
took them 10 years to get there,
yeah, so we're right on schedule.
right? I don't know.
Uh,
I don't know. I been listening to a lot of like, um, what do you call it? Not interviews, but like
Podcasts.
podcast or whatever, or just like watching things about different artists, and not even just like musical, but like people and their journey, and kind
Mm.
of like, and a lot of them, it took many years for them to get to that first breaking point, but then again, a lot of them though, it's like that 10 years happened between like 18 and 28 or whatever, and so it feels weird to
Hey
be.
man, there's no timeline. Everything happens when it happens.
Oh, for sure. But I do feel
Absolutely.
as like there's no timeline, but then there sort of is at the same time. I think for what we're doing specifically. I think like I heard somebody quote say, what was I actually, was I watching somebody thing or somebody? Oh, it was actually, I'm going to be going back to school, or like this apprenticeship thing, and the first like meeting we had like a Zoom, and everybody was getting on and introducing themselves. I was actually just watching the recording because it was the night we did a photo shoot, and one of the guys in there is older, and he was like, yeah, I'm the old guy here. He was like 70 something years old,
That's
and he's
cool.
like,
Yeah.
well, I don't believe in the whole, you're never too old to follow your dream. You always, or it's never too late to pursue your passions thing. He's like, for me, the way I like to look at it is I'm doing this class now so that I can absorb and learn the skills for my next life. So he's like, I'm going to start my next life with a head start because,
That's funny.
taking out this all in. Um, but yeah, so anyways, it's my point being, it's like for a lot of things creatively or whatever, there's a lot of things that it doesn't really matter. You can go for it at any time. But I feel like as a rock band, like as a musician, there's no real timeline. But as a rock band, I kind of feel like if you're approaching your 50s and you haven't like broken yet or whatever, I think that your time has kind of run out. I don't really see, you never see like a new rock band break out and they're all in their 50s and
Well,
60s.
we'll be the first.
So I
Holy
really want to see
shit.
parts up on stage unless they're like playing this stuff that you knew in your childhood, or you know, I don't know.
I'm gonna have to have a cane rack on stage next to the guitar rack,
Right.
Next to the wine rack.
next to the fucking wine rack. Yes.
We're just gonna be chilling, drinking wine and
Pediasure, we're all
vibing.
drinking Pediasure on stage.
I'll just have a hover round up to my drum.
Oh, I love it.
Josh uses a cymbal stand to hold his colonoscopy bag or whatever. Or drip IV
Jesus.
thing is just hanging up there.
Yeah, that'll be us if we're lucky, right?
Those will be the golden years.
Yeah. The golden we're the real Nearly Dead. See, that's where the name comes from anyway. So
Yeah.
I always felt like maybe it was ironic that we got the name, because I feel like for us it's almost like I feel like there's multiple times where we get some momentum and then it just like you just like hit the struggle bus and it's like, all right, are we doing this anymore? And it's like
it's like,
always
yeah.
sort of on that brink of nearly just like, okay,
Yep.
we're at, but then
Nearly
but then
Deads
something
won't die.
happens or we get a creative juices going and it's like, all right, let's keep trucking, and then we go and go and go, and then we hit this part of like, should we do this anymore? So it's like the band itself was constantly nearly dead. We're on the verge, but luckily we have all these fans that like keep us motivated, and then it's just fun. It's just fun to write music and hang out with my chums, chill chums.
Chill chums.
All right, Steve. Well,
I stole that from Conan.
that was fun. A fun, depressing little sidebar there.
Started off right.
Yeah. So, how is everybody out there doing? Like, I want to know how you guys are doing. Like, what's going on in your life? Show us in the comments, somebody said that they've been following us for 45 years. We should make a meme with the Titanic lady that's like, it's been 84 years, with like, how long have you been waiting for the Nearly Dead's second album? I'm going to do
That's
that,
good.
and I'm going to post that. Yeah.
That's good.
It'd get a lot
That
of
kinda-
likes.
Actually, that terminology kind of like bums me out, because like Rob will put that in our press. It's like sophomore album. It's like, I get this is our second full length, but to me, I consider EPs albums too. But I guess they're not. I don't know.
I don't think the
Spotify-
industry considers it. I think
Yeah.
like, and people are just wanting an album. Like Revenge, like the EP wasn't that long ago, considering we're like an independent band. Didn't we release it like 5 or 6 years ago? 5 years ago?
2018, I think. 2018.
Yeah,
yeah,
so like
5 years
five,
ago.
but we started working on the other one, and there was COVID, and we took a break.
And we released singles in between.
Yeah,
then
we released
now.
a single like every year, so we've been doing stuff. No,
Spotify considers EPs a single.
so somebody says they got a puppy, and then somebody else just said they recently lost a dog and a cat. Sorry.
It's always a bummer.
That's
losing-
like so hard to go through. But they have one cat left, so that's good.
Yeah.
I
Sorry
have
for your loss.
fortunately not had to go through that.
You your parents before.
Well, we had our dog, family dog, got run over when I was at school, so I wasn't like there, and we couldn't. Well,
This
she
is
got run
getting-
over, but we
this is
didn't. We
getting
thought she was
depressing.
missing. So
Let's
like
tell
we didn't
our
know where she
dead
went.
dog stories. Jesus, sorry, Javi.
But I didn't see it, so I thought she was just lost.
Oh man.
It's all good.
Well, we're all very sorry for the loss of your dog and your cat, Domingo.
What's up, Speed Punk and YouTube representing. So we're starting to get some people in here and
Yeah.
some interaction. You said that you had a game. Did you want to do that while Javi's not here? Javi might have to dip out early.
Oh, yeah, we can start doing the game. I mean, it's like I love these table topic questions. It's just like conversation starters. And some of these are really funny. So let
If
me
you want to give it a little more time, we can keep chatting about stuff, see if we get some more people in the...
I mean, we can start the game, I think.
Okay. Otherwise, I'm just going to talk about Jedi Survivor or...
I beat
Start the
Hogwarts.
game. Start the game. Start the game.
I beat Hogwarts Legacy last night, like officially got the credit screen. So,
Nice.
but I will still be playing tonight.
Oh, for sure.
I'm working on it.
You guys should see. I really want to post videos of like my vivarium because I've gone all out. Like, it is my Animal Crossing. But I don't know. I'm always like, they look cooler when you play it on PC, so I don't want to get like judged by the fucking mean fandom out there.
Oh, because it's not...
People are are so judgy about gaming.
Well, the internet has sparked the nerd uprising, because what I found is like most of the toxicity online.
Dude, nerds invented the internet.
Well, it's because it's like they got picked on at school, you know, or whatever. But then now with the internet, there's this platform, and it kind of you're on even playing ground now. And so since there's like it's just chat and there's this barrier, and then you can get really good at video games, and you can talk down to people who suck or talk down to people who don't have the best equipment. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's the revenge of the nerds. It's like they got bullied by the jocks in school, and so now the internet's their area to bully other people.
Trolls. They're called trolls. They've been around. Josh, what were you just about to say?
Oh, I was just gonna say I have like a surplus of nifflers in my vivarium. That's my favorite one.
Oh, is it? I was like, why? Yeah. I only go for like a big game. I have like 3 grab horns, 4 like hippogriffs, like 3 unicorns. I had a unicorn baby. I'm breeding my graph horns now because I want to see what the baby one looks like. So,
well, I recently watched Fantastic Beasts, and the Nifflers like in that movie.
Yeah.
So that's why I like have a love for it now. But...
Is that the little platypus looking thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're like sneaky.
Yeah.
Yeah, they steal like,
they steal stuff. By
the way, Josh in the chat, happy early birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Milestone.
Okay,
Let
and
us know what you're gonna do if you have any fun plans.
Yeah, what are you planning for your birthday? We need to know. And then the Walter Show said, "What if I was willing to pay $1 million for you all to come play a show in Fargo, North Dakota, but you have to get a flight immediately, like now or tomorrow?" I would say yes to that.
Yeah,
I could rearrange my life if you're gonna give us $1 million.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll give you my Cash App after the...
Yes, yeah. Cash App, Steve. If you get money in the Cash...
I'll give you the band's Venmo. If you send us $1 million, I'll literally tonight start booking flights.
I will just hop in my car and start driving. I mean, nah, that's probably like 20-hour drive. But hell yeah, we're so down. But
Marcella's probably good.
I know. I was just gonna say we don't have a bass player, so we would need to sort that out.
He would cancel. He would do it.
Marcella will be like, you know what? I'll do it.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Even 10% of $1 million. You know.
How much would we get?
I'm saying if we gave him 10%, you know, then each of us, and then after expenses, then we would split the rest 4 ways. So
we hear, okay, so yes, we're down $1 million, Fargo, one night only. We're coming. Let's make it happen. So there's that. I
would love to go to Fargo. Did we go on tour?
We went South Dakota. I don't think we ever hit North Dakota.
We played Montana, and we went to Minnesota.
Or maybe it was the opposite. Maybe we played North Dakota but did not play South Dakota. I don't know, because
What are some of the major cities? Where would we have played?
I feel like one of the Dakotas doesn't exist because I've never seen a license plate for it. Which one has the is it North Dakota that has the Mount Rushmore?
I think that's in South Dakota.
South Dakota. Okay. So I've seen license plates with Mount Rushmore on it. So I've seen South Dakota. I think it's North Dakota that I don't believe actually exists because I've never seen a license plate or met anybody from North Dakota.
Oh, Grand Forks. Doesn't that sound like somewhere we've been though? No. I don't think we've been to North Dakota. But we played Sioux Falls, South Dakota. We definitely played there.
Sioux Falls.
That's
for sure.
definitely played there. And then
So yeah, the town of Fargo is made up. It's fictional. It's a
no,
fictional movie.
it's
like
just
North Dakota is not real.
it's real.
Josh, board games and beer sounds like a lot of fun.
Sounds like a Nearly Dead's get together.
Here in the Nashville area, the Elitist podcast that I went on, one of their hosts, Tim, hosts a board game day on Sundays. He does they have an area and they have a bunch of, it's like a community thing. People come out. There's a bunch of board games, tabletop games or whatever, and they set it up. Sounds like fun. I haven't been yet.
Just want to say hi to Dante on YouTube. What up?
Dante's a cool name.
That is a sweet name.
All right, so
We're ready for some random questions?
random questions.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Okay. You're going to think this is so dumb. If you received an extra burrito when ordering at your local shop, would you say something?
No.
I probably would. But I'd be like, I'll take it.
That's very Josh. Hey,
You guys gave me some
Well, see,
extra food.
this is the thing though. If it's a drive-through and I don't check my food, because that's happened to me. Like
I
Taco
could-
Bell's giving me like way too much food through a drive-through, and I didn't say anything.
Why
I
would
could
you?
just see like a side profile view of Josh like looking at his bag and then looking at the in
Either
my
way,
head. I
just take
could
it out, like,
I wouldn't bring it back. Mexican food is one of the cheapest to make ingredients wise. It's not like an extra burrito is gonna damage their bottom line or anything.
Well, first of all, no, gosh, what was I just lost my thought. Sorry.
That
No
was a good
food,
one.
no food place is gonna take your food back. So if they give it to you extra, it's yours. They can't take it back and give it to somebody else ever.
Yeah.
So if it was
Back
their
when we're at
mistake,
They would let you
Harvard, it's
keep
free
it.
it's
food.
like Monopoly when it's like bank error in your favor.
Right.
Collect $200. It's like a freebie. You
So
could
then you could always play the good guy and just be like, "Hey, you gave me this," because you know they're gonna be like, "Just keep it."
Yeah, exactly. So you
I
do
think-
want to say something.
Yeah.
I think what's more likely to happen though is people just be like, "Hey, do you want this free item?" And you're like, "Yes."
That's happened to us.
Yeah, I know, but it happens in drive-through too
Yeah.
because they're like
they can't.
they're like, "Hey, we
messed
have this
up.
extra. Do you want it?" It's like, "Yeah, hell yeah."
It never happens to me with Uber Eats. I'm always cancel
They
items.
always cancel your order, I thought.
Cancel my order, or the most annoying is when it's like you order Mexican food and then there's salsa in the bag but no chips, and I'm like, God,
Yeah.
why even have the meal?
That's worse.
Why
than
even have the meal? I just want to throw it all away now. It's
Okay, I got the next question.
I feel like I would be the one to cancel Steve's order.
Yeah, didn't you?
I'd look at it and I'd be like,
No.
"Yeah, no."
pick it up and then drive home with it.
Okay. So next question is, and this is personal. I have not told you guys what happened to me yet, but I will tell you after this question. Would you leave a note if you bumped another car in a parking lot? Y'all
Does
are,
does it leave
That's a toughie.
does it leave a mark? Like, is
yes.
there a
Let's just
noticeable mark?
assume yes.
I have done
Wow.
both. So I've bumped a car twice. One time I did not, and one time I did. And the one time I did not is the most ridiculous thing ever. So it was back when I was in college and working at J. Alexander's, and I was pulling into the parking lot, and it was a busy parking lot because the J. Alexander's was like right next to like a Best Buy or something. So it's like a big parking lot, and I'm pulling in. I'm running late, and so I like pull into the spot pretty quick. And back then I had the Ford Ranger. It was black, and I went too wide, and the front bumped up against a car and scraped the car. And when I got into the spot, and I could see a black line from my truck and a slight dent in it. Well, it was a pickup truck that happened to be one of the manager's cars.
Oh
at the
my
restaurant.
God. That's
Oh.
why they never wanted to rehire your ass.
Like a-
Not because you were a
No,
bad,
he
shitty
actually-
waiter. You
He
fuck-
actually got fired or left or something a year before
drama.
I left. But I literally just backed out of that spot and then like went 2 lanes down and parked somewhere else and then just went to work. I was just like young, and I don't know if I had to have had insurance.
I mean, I
But-
guess if you're young, you're
But-
more freaked out about it. For
Yeah, and
sure.
I
The
was just
older
like,
you get, the more you're
my
like, if, yeah, this was my car, I would have appreciated a note from someone so I could contact them and get it taken care of.
Yeah, and
So
I
you
don't
wanna
know how
do
I
the
did it because
same.
I have the most guilty conscience in the world. I'm a terrible liar. Like,
Not that day.
I mean, I'm pretty good. Like, if
uh,
nobody brings it up or asks me, I won't. I can just not say anything. But if somebody were to ask me, I would immediately break. Like, you don't have to torture me. If you just ask me, hey, did you hit my car? I would immediately admit to it because I'd feel too guilty. I'm
Yeah.
not a bad liar.
What
But
about
yeah.
Josh and Javi? Yes or no? Would you leave a note? Speed Punk on YouTube says
Oh.
that they would just write a note that says sorry.
sorry.
Like no insurance information, just says sorry.
Oh, that's tough.
Has it
man.
ever
I wanna
happened to
say
you?
since-
Have you ever done
no,
it?
well, I was a passenger in a car. Me and my buddy were going to see a movie.
And you guys fucking left. You drove away.
I didn't. Hey, it was not my. Listen, and when I tell you, he destroyed this car.
No.
Oh my God.
And he was just like-
No.
Hopefully, he's not watching this. I won't say names, but he
This
was
is
just like,
bad
I don't need this
karma.
right now. It was so it's hilarious when I think about it, but I'm just like I feel so bad for it was like at a movie theater parking lot, like in a mall. So you know, he
So
just
what happened? You
it
guys
was-
just parked somewhere else and just went to the movie and just chilled?
yeah, I mean we still went to the movie. I can't like yeah, I guess he just parked somewhere else. I mean maybe I probably should have been the guy that was like, man, maybe you should, but it's like
How
you know,
old
it's
were you?
Oh, I was probably a teen. I was probably like 17,
Like you're
18 or
kids, so
something.
you're freaked out.
Yeah.
Like you think you're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it's never happened to me. I mean, I'd like to think that, yeah, I would do the right thing and leave a note, but
Sorry. But you're like long gone. There's no way to get in
So,
contact
let
with
us
you.
get this straight. Josh, for sure, would return the extra burrito, but is unsure if he sideswiped a car.
Yeah,
Ugh.
hypocrite.
That's where that's where the line is for Josh. If it's a burrito, nah, I can't be taking extra.
okay, I want to add another layer though, because of the situation we just all lived through.
Is it a
If
5-layer?
if you knew a bunch of people just saw you do it and you just took off, like
That's
the
different.
chances are somebody's getting your license plate because they're gonna be like, look at that asshole, you
Wait,
know?
are you talking about when we were at Hawkers?
Yeah, you know. So it's
Yeah.
like
So just
I
to
You
would
know how
probably
many
fill,
people
definitely leave my information, you know.
you know how many people were just watching it happen and didn't like get a license
didn't
plate?
intervene, all of
I think
us.
Steve was the only one that got up like halfway. Was
At
like,
the end, yeah, I tried to
Yeah.
stand up and get the lady's attention who got hit, but I kind of waited too long because she was already like,
We're all pieces of
right.
garbage. We all
nah,
we don't want to get involved. Humans in general, not just the four of us. I'm
Yeah.
just talking about everybody. We
yeah.
like to be like, you know what? I'm not involved in this. I'm not going to get involved. Which that's I don't know. We should be better. We should be doing
I had
better.
I had a feeling when that lady walked out with the bags, I was like, I bet that's her car. And sure enough, she walked in there, but who could have predicted
She wouldn't even.
what
She
what
just got in
happened
the
happened
car.
where
She just got in the car, and we're like, "Ma'am, hello." Isn't that what Steve did? And then she just drove away. She had no idea she got hit.
so for all the people watching, to give it a little bit of context, we were all at a restaurant, just minding our own business, having a good time. And this person pulled up into a little spot on the side of the restaurant,
And we're on.
I guess to
We're on
I
the
guess to
patio. We're on the patio. We're outside. So there's like the street is right there, and then there's a parking lot literally right next to us,
Well, it's not even like a parking lot. It's like
a driveway.
concrete, but like
Like a
used to be.
driveway.
it's like a little garage or something.
Yeah.
So this guy, I guess, I'm not sure what he was there for, but somebody had just kind of parked right behind him, which they shouldn't have done because that's not a spot that you would. It's a main street. You shouldn't just park. Anyway, she was right behind him. She had her
He
flashers
blocked him
on,
in. Blocked him in.
but blocked him in. But this guy, I guess, didn't know it, but he backed right into her, and she was inside picking up an order.
I think he knew it because he was going slow and he stopped for a second. And I was
He
like,
was probably on his phone.
he was trying
He
to
was
pull
like,
out
just
and
like,
not hit
he went
her.
in and then hit her.
yeah.
And
I
they
feel
were-
like we're on our phones all the time, and he probably just,
Well, the
but
way he tried to get out of there and get out of it, I was like, maybe he had been drinking or something because he didn't even have his headlights on. And
No,
it's night.
right. Yeah. It was
was-
weird.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah. I saw him walk in. He seemed fine. Like he seemed coherent, but no, he was like, you could tell just based off the way he was driving, trying to get out. He was like, "Oh shit, did people see me?" And we're
There's
like,
100
"Yeah,
people
dude,
at this restaurant.
everybody saw you." And
Yeah.
he was
All right there.
like, "Shit, like, what do I do? Do I wait? Do I go? I'm gonna go. Let's do it." And we're all just like, "Wait a minute, what's going
And
on?"
he was going like this. He was like back. So here's his car. He's trying to like, he's like backing out like this, like
Very-
inching because this woman's
Oh my
blocked him
God.
in, and he's trying to like 20-point turn out of that place, and then he just left and drove down the street, and we're all just like, what? That was the
You know
wildest.
what that really told me though is that really just solidified that I will never be a superhero because I've had multiple fantasies.
We
of,
would
like,
never.
I'm like
yeah.
driving down the road or something and I hear a news story about some guy that gets held up at gunpoint at like a liquor store or something. And in my mind, I'm like, man, if I were there in the liquor store, maybe I'd sneak around and I'd run up with a bottle and I'd bash the guy in the head, or I'd like tackle him or something, and I'd save the day, save the life of that cashier, and I'd be a hero. I'd be in the newspaper, and everybody'd be like, "Here's a real life Spider-Man" or something. And then we're sitting there eating, and I couldn't even bother to get out of my chair to be like, "Hey, dude, you need to stay here and wait for me to get this guy back into you." It's like I couldn't even do that. No way I'm tackling any armed like
Yeah.
burglar.
So
I want to hear more of these
They had a
Steve fantasies,
so
hero fantasies.
I have a story. You can kind of guess where this is coming. Literally Monday. One of my favorite things to do in the nice weather is wash my car. And as you guys know, I got myself a brand new car recently. because my old one was not going to run anymore. So I invested in a new car that was going to last me years and years. So it is literally brand new. I've had it for like 5 months. And I'm like living the dream. Weather's beautiful. I'm doing my favorite activity in the world. And I'm like, car wash, vacuum. I'm babying my car. It's my baby. I'm like wiping the mirrors, getting all the water spots off. And I got a sunroof now. Because I couldn't justify buying a convertible. And so I had to have, I know I sound really stupid, but like you guys know how much I want a Mustang convertible. You know how much. That's my dream car. Like I would have
So
bought.
you got a Mustang?
No, I didn't. No, I
Oh.
got a car with a sunroof instead of getting a convertible, which would have been like impractical and like way too expensive, right? So I
Yeah.
got a sunroof. I got the sunroof. All my windows are down. Music's pumping. Just living my best life. Like, well, my car's all clean. Like the weather's nice. I'm cruising. Little old lady, bam, rear ends
You
me.
hit her?
She hit me.
Oh,
No
she hit
way.
you.
And so I'm blasting like, I don't know, punk or something. I'm like blasting this like heavy music and I'm like stopped at an intersection and the traffic's backed up and she just like tries to turn left, skirt, and I hear the crunch and I was like, you gotta be effing kidding me. And I have
Oh,
all my windows
damn.
open and I'm like screaming. You guys know how I am. What the fuck? Did you just fucking hit my car, my brand new car? I'm like screaming. She
That sucks.
pulls up next to me, little old lady, mortified. And I go, because all of our windows are down because the weather's nice. And I was like, did you just hit me? And she's like, I don't think so. I don't think so. And I was like, I think you did. I was like, you pull over. And so we get on the side of the road and I'm just livid. Oh man. And then she comes out and she has her like insurance card in her hand and she's like shaking. And I was like, I'm really sorry. But it's okay. And like, I don't know. I ended up feeling like really bad about my reaction, but like, come on. Like, I just had this great day where I'm like cleaning my car, my brand new car, and like driving. And I'm like, this is the last thing on earth I thought was going to happen today. So,
Justin.
So did it leave a dent?
oh yeah. It's all messed up. She was like, she tried to be like, I don't think I hit your car. And I was like, you definitely did. You definitely did. So,
Oh,
but like
man.
then I started feeling bad for her because she was like trying to call her husband. Her husband was pissed and she was like, no, it was my fault and blah, blah, blah. She's like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, it's okay. Like, it's not that bad. But like, come on. I had it for 5 months. And when I had my old Kia, I had it for like a couple of weeks when I moved here and I got rear-ended in that car. It's just something
Damn.
about this area. People can't drive. And yeah, she swiped me but like luckily everything is like super taken care of and it's going to get fixed and it's going to look like brand new in no time, but that was my story. And I said, thank you for not driving away because honestly, I totally thought she was going to because she didn't even want to stop to begin
I was
with.
outside of Kroger and I can't remember which car I was in, but I was driving. Some old lady comes behind me, rear ends me. I get out. I was like, what the fuck just happened? I go and I check and nothing, nothing was dented or anything. It didn't even phase it. And so she was like, oh my God. She was like so terrified. And I was like, it's okay. Just watch what you're doing next time.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
and that was all that was said. It was wasn't
Speaking
anything
of,
crazy.
like hitting and running, and then like people being superheroes. Like, A was on the interstate, and she was on the phone. She's got the hands free or whatever, and I was on the phone with her when she got hit, and she was just driving on like the left lane, and somebody went to turn into her lane and sideswiped the front of her car on the interstate, and then
Dang.
realized it and then tried to take off. But other cars on the interstate saw what happened, and she said that like 3 cars together somehow like telekinetically knew what they were going to do, and they chased this girl and boxed her in and forced
Oh damn.
the side of the road. They basically citizens arrested her ass.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then A got up there and pulled over, and
Wouldn't be us. Wouldn't be the Nearly
yeah,
Deads.
it's like once
That
she got
person just
pulled
get
over,
away.
the other cars left, but one of the ladies that was in one of the cars that did it stayed with her. She's like, I'm gonna stay until the cops get here to make sure everything's cool or whatever. And I was like, damn, that's really cool that those people did that. But to me, it's like even more so than just the fact that they were willing to do that. It's just like, how did those three people know to like? It's almost like an airplane, like flying in formation. How did they notice? Like, okay, I'm gonna be in the front. Okay, I'm gonna pull up on the
Right.
side. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
behind it. They just like coordinated. It's just they knew. They're like, nah, this bitch is going down.
It was the Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah.
No, what's crazy is to think like, life itself is not like super exciting most of the time. And so when something like that does happen, you're like, oh shit, I'm on it. I'm gonna box this bitch in. She's not getting away. But then what's funny, and like I feel like God has a funny way of working, is that when you're the person that hits somebody, you're like, oh shit, I hope nobody saw this. I'm about to bounce. And then you got like 3 motherfuckers coming after you, and you're like, no, please don't box me in. So I don't know. It's life is funny because you get to play both sides sometimes. And
Yeah.
and it's just ironic,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I want to keep the car theme going here. And the next question is, have you ever parked in a disabled person spot without a permit?
I'm tempted all the time.
Oh,
I have done, but
that came out real quick, Javi.
Well, because I make deliveries, and so like I'm literally pulling up to the spot for like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, man, like this
Yes.
would be the perfect spot to be in for 10 seconds. Like, nobody watch what I'm about to. It's like,
Yeah.
like you're gonna pee.
yeah, I've done it a
somewhere.
bunch, especially like in Brentwood, the Well Coffee, that coffee place. It's like in a strip that's like the coffee place, like a firehouse, and like, a bunch of little things, but there's only like one row of parking spots in front of it. The only other parking is in the very back, and it's like a garage, and you got to walk. So every time I go to that coffee place, I'm always getting it to go. And so sometimes if it's full, I'm just like, screw it.
That's
I'll even
peak-
park on the little, like,
Peak white male entitlement energy.
white line, like, walk thing, or I'll park in the handicap, go get my to-go, and then leave.
I would
I've-
never
I
do
literally
that.
Wait.
never.
I would never do that, not even for 10 seconds.
Well, there's
I've
no
got
handicap spots. They're all open. It's not like I'm going to keep... It's not like 3 handicap people are going to
And
show
he-
up in that. And
Maybe
You don't know.
you don't know that, first of all. And me, I could never, because of like the side eye I would get
Mm.
time
from
out.
other
I've got a-
people. Other
I've got a
people see you
question.
park in that spot and they're like, what the fuck are you doing?
I've
And
got
then they'll say
I've got
something.
a question for the audience as well as the panel.
Okay.
If somebody pulled into a disabled spot and they don't have a disabled tag with their blinkers on, would that be okay? Because you're kind of acknowledging
I-
the fact that you're not supposed to be there by the blinkers being on,
I would
and that you're
rather
going to
s-
be there
That
temporarily.
would be less side-eye, for sure.
That's less
Okay.
side eye. But I think
How
what's
about the people from the
okay, let's see.
comments? What's the
Let's see.
comments say?
Oh, yeah, chime in chat here. Also, by the way, let us know if you had a scenario where you got sideswiped or sideswiped somebody, and
Yeah.
let us know some heroic citizen arrest experiences that happened. Fun, but yeah. So TJ,
What-
have you ever?
What were
parked
you going to
in
say,
a cab or
TJ?
never?
I would never. I have no. I did once by accident at like a Dollar General because like it wasn't paint like
Paint's gone.
most places have the sign in front, so it's very clear there's a handicap. But some places only have it painted on the bottom, and like this place was like painted in white, it wasn't even blue, like anything. And I was brand new to the state, and I just like pulled it. I was like, ooh, right up front, this is great. And then I pulled out and later. And I was like, everyone was staring at me when I got out of my car. And I was like, why? And then I left the store like later and I was like, oh my God, I parked in the handicap spot. But it's like, so it was like so hard to tell that it was a handicap. Like if you weren't familiar with that parking lot, you wouldn't know. And it haunts me to this day. And I would say, so as far as the hazards go, I would rather see somebody double parked up next to the curb or even in the fire lane for 10 seconds than in the handicap spot. I just don't think that's
Yeah.
right. Somebody might need
Yeah, I
that.
still don't think that's acceptable because it still defeats the like. What if something happens? You can't get back to your car. There is a handicapped individual that needs that parking. It's still not like it's not a cop out, you know.
Nah, no.
Okay, well, I haven't done it when there's only one handicap spot. There's always multiple open. But I'll tell, and I do feel slightly guilty. But I'll tell you the one that I never feel guilty about is the damn pregnant parking or whatever.
You park in the pregnant lady's parking?
Like, what is this?
Eva,
Special. This is ridiculous. You can.
Oh man.
you
Pregnant
park in the you probably. What about the spot that says for our law enforcement partners? Do you park in that
He
one
parks
too?
there too.
I don't think I've seen many of those spots. We must not have a lot out here. I don't really see spots.
They're at Walmart's. Walmart's have for police because there's always shit going down at Walmart. But yeah,
Just
there's an expected mother one. A 9-month pregnant lady can't be walking. I mean, they might as well get a handicap spot if you're that pregnant. You
I'm
can't.
pregnant lady and going grocery shopping. She's having a click list or somebody's picking it up for her.
Oh my God.
Hey, in of all fairness, multitasking in the chat says you can't prove I wasn't expecting. Maybe
Ooh, this is good. Okay, so Doolin says all these stores are taking away handicap parking for people that order online. Now, there's a spot I will gladly park my ass in for 10 seconds.
15-minute takeaway or whatever. Yeah.
The to-go fucking parking or order online pickup, buy online pickup and you pull in and it's like, you're in stall number 3. I will definitely park in that shit because it's taking up half the parking lots. And during COVID, it was very necessary, but now nobody uses that shit anymore, and it's taking up half the parking lot. I will definitely park in one of those. I did it the other day.
There's only 2 spots at my Publix that are for that, and there's nobody ever. I'm probably the only person that click lists at our Publix or the Instacarts.
I definitely don't do as much as I used to. I mean, it's cool that you can, but it's like never convenient. It's more convenient to just go to the store.
I don't know. For me, it's like I'll come up with my grocery list, order it like tonight, and then tomorrow on my way home from work, I just pull in, they throw it in my car, and saves me the shopping time and saves me from having to make a trip. And plus, I work and I'm getting dusty and dirty. I don't want to like walk around Publix with drywall dust falling off me. Oh wait,
all these is fine. They don't mind the dry dust.
Guitar pick dust, and that's what I meant to say.
That's what. Just all the shredding.
Oh my God. Yeah, I love that we brought that up though. Like parking. That's funny. What's another question?
TJ's looking chat. I think this is the debut live stream of the Bangs. What is everybody's consensus? Chime in.
What do you guys think of my bangs?
New
That
promo
should have been
photos coming.
should have been the title of the stream or the caption or whatever it's called.
New
TJ
bangs.
got bangs. Oh, this is great. If you were guilty of a parking violation, would you go? Would you still go to court to dispute it?
I think I've disputed online. It was a parking ticket, but it was like dumb. Like it was like after hours or something, and I don't know. I've disputed parking tickets before, but
That sounds like you. Yeah. I would just, if I was guilty, why would you not just pay it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would
Just pay
depend.
it.
Yeah, I would probably just pay
It's
it.
not worth the
It's
fucking hassle,
easier. Yeah.
especially if you
Most of the-
definitely did it.
Yeah.
Most of the time, if I'm guilty of a parking violation, there's a boot on my vehicle, and so I have to pay in order to.
You've gotten a boot on your car
Yeah,
from parking?
I have
yeah.
like apartments at somebody's apartment, you know, and it's like I wasn't in the guest parking and they booted me.
It sucks.
Well, and you didn't learn your lesson.
Well, yeah, I don't park there
Well, I
anymore.
got
Yeah. No, but I'm saying you guys are like, I park in the handicap spot, whatever. It's just like,
I guess I did get a well, I got towed, and then I think they did put when was parked for that one tour at the Clarion. Remember I
You
came
get
back?
towed?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure they. I'm pretty sure there was. Would they tow it and put a boot on it when they got it somewhere? Or
no.
No,
No.
probably
They
not.
would've
then it
just
was
towed it.
One or the other.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a boot on mine, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And I called the guy, and he's like, "Yeah, that'll be 100 and something." I was like, "It's like I just went to court and paid like a parking or traffic ticket, and now I have to pay your dumbass." And he's like, "Yeah." I'm like,
Have you seen that Simpsons episode? It's like Homer versus New York. It was like an old classic one, and he's in New York, and he's just getting pissed off. And he's parked, and there's like a billion parking tickets in his thing, and because he just wanted to pee, and he keeps going to the top of the trade towers, and it's like out of order, and he's going back over to the other one, and then finally they boot him. He's like, "We're getting out of here," and he was trying to get the boot off and something, so he just starts driving, and the boot goes and tears up his thing.
Oh, God.
Driving through New York, and the boot's just going crunk, crunk. And
I
he's
think I've seen that. Yeah.
concrete, and everybody's looking at him, and he's just like, "I hate New York."
Okay, cool.
Oh, Soul Queef in the house.
Soul Queef.
Soul Queef.
And we got Doolin over here bragging about his new base. I saw some pics on Twitter. It looks awesome. And to answer your question, we're not actually getting a new bass player. We like being a 4-piece. We just hire talent. when we
Steve's
need
like, stop trying to be the bassist. We don't want one.
them. Well, no, he was recommending
Oh, Ultraviolet
Riot.
Riot. We'll have to check her out.
Yeah, I mean, maybe she could fill in, but yeah, we're not looking. Basically, the Nearly Deads is who you're looking at now. We're a 4-piece and forever will be.
What if Josh was the new bassist?
Then we could. Josh could
He's
play.
not as-
We could use Drum Machine.
He's
yeah.
not as tall or as greasy as Kevin, but he'll do.
This is kind of a weird one. Okay. Would you repackage a gift in a trendy store box to lead a friend to believe you'd purchased it there?
I don't really buy gifts for people, so I don't know if I qualify for this question.
Wouldn't they know though, like that it's
Yeah, you
You
would know. That's dumb.
because if it's a generic item that you could get multiple places, it's not like it would be more expensive at the trendy place. I mean, maybe clothing if you bought like a polo and then like from Target, but then put it in like a Ralph. But they all say it on.
I know the brand names have their brand names. Like stores have their brand name on their clothes.
I mean, I hand wrap my shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I would never do that. That's weird.
The only equivalent that I can think of is I've totally been lazy going to parties and then last minute not cooked and just like picked up food from somewhere, but then put it in a Tupperware and acted like I made it. It's like,
That's
Wow,
fucking
what a
great. Like
fucking-
you're going to like a potluck and everyone's like, who's bringing whatever, and you will literally go to the store and buy like
potato salad and slap it in a Tupperware. Look at this potato salad I made.
you no way. You pretend like you can't make store quality fucking potato salad at home. Did people go like, wow, Steve, this is really good?
He's like, yeah, I slaved away.
No, it's like whenever I've done that, it's been something generic like cookies or and I just.
But you just
It
didn't bring the
happened maybe
tin.
twice because I actually like cooking.
Oh my
It's
god.
just happened like maybe twice where it's just
That
been
is
like last
next
minute.
level deception. I'm trying to wrap my brain. Like I recently kind of went to a potluck. I homemade cookies, but a bunch of people bought store-bought. And I was like, I didn't realize that was an option. I would have just done this, but I like to bake. But a bunch of people brought store-bought cupcakes and pie and shit, and everyone just brought it in the container. Like I couldn't imagine how mischievous you need to be to like take the store-bought perfectly made cookies into a fucking Tupperware and be like, I brought cookies.
Make cookies, everyone.
Just bring it. The where does that come from?
I don't know. I'm sure I was probably just doing it to be funny or something, but
Okay. Have you ever intentionally driven through a red light?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck anymore. I wait till it turns red and then I go.
Oh god.
Middle of the night.
Yeah,
No one's on the
middle-
road.
Broad daylight. Everybody watching, and I'm flipping them off with both hands with my fucking beer gut holding the
No
steering
way.
wheel.
Oh god.
I honestly, dude, I'm like a terrible driver, but I love it because
Ah, the
it's
truth
so
comes out.
it's freeing, man. It's like because
Just
you know what I've
disobeying
noticed.
Traffic laws.
No. You know what I've noticed, and you in the panel, you in the comments may be these people, so don't get offended. But a lot of people drive with their fucking phones in their hands. They're on their phones and they're just driving. And so, like, me coming up behind, I'm just like, I mean, I'm on my phone too, but like, I'm a little bit more aware. So I just zoom right past everybody. I don't give a fuck. I'm just like, dude, y'all are like asleep at the wheel. Like, I'm not about to. And the crazy thing is with Nashville, it's getting so big. People are moving in. Metro, the police department, they're all downtown. Nobody's really patrolling the interstates anymore. So it's almost like a self-patrol thing. I'm starting to notice them a little bit more now, but like I just hit it, man. Like I can go 90 if I want. Like I don't like nobody's there to really do anything, you know.
Tweet says Javi going to kill me on my motorcycle one day.
No. I have hit a motorcycle before.
Damn, dude.
So when I see
What?
motorcycles, I actually get scared. I'm like I'm like so attentive to motorcycle drivers. I'm like, get the fuck away from me, dude. Like
You
go,
hit one?
you know. What's
You
that?
did?
You just said that you hit one and just like acted like you didn't just say that.
Yeah, I was 19 and I was living in Arizona and I pulled out in front of one and I pulled out. I don't know what the fuck I was doing because I don't think we had smartphones back then. But like I pulled out and this guy just boom right into me and he flew like across my dash and it was like slow motion but fast at the same time. It was the weirdest thing I've ever felt. And I was like, and then he rolled like across the street and I was like, oh my God, I've killed somebody. And like he got up, he came over to me. He was this older guy. He was probably in his 50s or 60s. He was like, never in my life, boy, has anybody hit me with a car. And he's like, you dumb mother. I was like,
Oh my
I'm so-
God.
I'm so glad he's alive. Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had to go to class and everything. So like
That was probably a
it's
big deal.
motorcycles are fucking
So you were
yeah, I
like
don't fuck
pulling
around with
out
those.
into like
I was in a parking lot
so
and
you're
I was
backing
pulling
up
out
into
onto
traffic.
I was pulling out onto the main street. But I
Yeah.
guess like I looked to my left and to my right, and then I was like, okay, I'm good. And then I started going, and this guy came
You always
from the
got to look
left.
back. You always got to
Yeah,
look
you
again.
have to look multiple times, but he was coming and I came out and bam.
Honest mistake, but yeah, it could have been dead lame.
Damn.
Wow.
Multitasking about the red light says we would call it a Texas red light. Are you aware of this, Javi? He's like, there is a light every single person ran, and we never knew why, so we just started doing it too. The Texas
Yeah, there's a
light is
there's a light where you just know it takes an hour to change green, so you just run it. I'm sure there's one in Tennessee.
There's
I'm
one
sure.
in every neighborhood that
Yeah.
everyone's like, fuck this light. We have
Yeah.
one here. We don't always run it, but just in the middle of the night, sometimes they're like red for no reason. Like neighborhoods should switch to like blinking
Yeah.
yellow at 3 in the morning. Like nobody, or midnight or whatever. They need to switch.
My favorite driving hack is when you have a line like 2 miles long and everybody's trying to turn left. Everybody's trying to go left. Like they let's just wait in this line. We're gonna go left. And I'm like, man, fuck you guys. So I go right and then I make a U-turn and I go straight.
Yeah.
Basically making a big left, but like avoiding the lines. It's like I'm not gonna wait in this stupid ass line.
Tommy did the dick move yesterday. He was we went downtown to meet his brother, but on the way there's a light that it gets super busy. It's a 2-lane turn left, and there's always like around a certain time of day just a long line. And so he went in the straight lane all the way up to the front, and then as soon as the light turns green, cuts over into the left.
Oh God. Yeah, it's a little iffy. I don't like to cut people off at the
Yeah.
I have done it and I feel like shit sometimes. But yeah.
But yeah, it depends on where you are. Like in New Tampa, in the suburbs of Tampa, kind of up north of Tampa, after a certain hour at night, all the streets turn to blinking yellows and reds. They all, like, after a certain point, switch over to that.
I guess it just depends on who's driving that day. Like what's the driving environment like? Like are people paying attention? Then you may not want to do risky shit. If everyone's on their phone, fuck them. I don't,
I used to be bad about being on my phone while driving, but I've trained myself to, like, leave it alone until I'm, like, sitting at a red light.
Yeah.
Them, because technology's turned us all into, like, we need constant stimulation. So I can't sit at a, like, 5-minute red light without checking my phone. What's the next question?
Well, I mean, it's 8 o'clock, so I don't know if Javi needs to go, but I figured I would address that.
I sure do.
We'll get all very emotional now that Javi's leaving.
Bye,
This was
Javi.
very entertaining.
Actually,
Very
We learned that
enlightening.
you were a really bad driver, bro.
Not in my Tucson. I'm very safe in my Tucson.
With
It's
your
the
child in the
Elantra.
back seat.
Yeah, the family car I'm safe in. It's the go-kart, the Elantra.
I
that I'm
definitely
like-
think like having a nice new car makes you drive better than when you're driving a piece of shit. Like,
yeah, when
don't
you're
you
driving a
think?
beater
You're just
car,
like,
you're
"Fuck
just like,
it.
I don't give
I
a
don't care."
fuck.
Yeah.
Hit me, I don't give a shit.
Hitting every single curb, like whatever. Now I'm like,
Yeah.
oh God.
so
It does
my-
make a
my
difference.
wheel almost fell off my truck this week.
Damn.
Just almost fell off. And, I, like, a while ago got my brakes replaced, and they talked about, like, whatever lug nuts are on my wheels, they were like some dumb custom stuff that doesn't actually fit them right, and they're like, you should probably swap these out for standard ones for your truck. And I was like, sure. Well, apparently they never did it, and so I've been driving around, and I started feeling a little vibrating under floorboards last week, and slowly it started getting worse and worse. And then me and Tommy were driving to the theater Monday to go see Guardians, and like the vibrating was more and more, and then we're on the street, and all of a sudden my like wheels just like kind of going like this, and I'm like,
Oh
what?
shit.
I was like, this is terrible, and I'm like going real slow, and I'm like, what do we do? And I like barely pull into the theater parking lot. I was like, this just does not seem right. And I get out of the car and look, driver's side, all the lug nuts I could like spin with my
Oh
finger.
my
They
God.
were all loosened up, and like the wheels is like this, and and then I went to tighten it up with a tire iron because they had put some custom bullshit ones on there. They're too small for the tire iron, so I couldn't like tighten them myself. So I luckily had all my tools in my truck, and I got some pliers that did the job enough so that like after the movie we could at least drive it to Walmart, and I bought another tire iron that fit it a little bit better. So then I just got back from Toyota today because they ended up swapping it out for free because they were like, yeah, I don't know why it didn't end up happening, but
So what was the issue with the lug nuts? It just they
it
didn't put
was
it
some,
on right.
yeah, it was some custom and not a standard, and like a standard lug nut, like
Oh,
the way it's shaped, it kind of goes into the wheel a little bit.
well,
And so
yeah.
this one, since it's flat, it only goes up against the wheel, so there's like
Oh,
threads worth that it's not going on. So like driving,
fuck.
it just kind of like backed it off. Like the vibrations in the wheel backed it out.
Good thing you weren't on the interstate.
Yeah, yeah,
That would have been.
it would have been bad. Would
It
have
would have
tore
been
up my truck for sure.
down
Damn.
a bass player and a lead guitarist.
I've seen a
Jesus.
wheel fly off somebody's car in front of me on the interstate.
Damn.
Yeah. Jeez.
Damn.
But yeah,
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been real.
hobby.
My peeps, my
Good.
peeps. You guys ready for me to leave? You're like, he should have been gone about 3 minutes ago.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.
Do I-
All right. See you guys.
Bye, Javi. All right, are we ready for the next question?
All right, now for the real
Let's
stuff.
do it.
Now we can start talking shit on Javi.
Josh in the chat says it's the encore now.
What would you do if you were eating at a restaurant and children at the table next to yours were being disruptive?
Josh.
I just ignore it and then complain about it later. I mean, I'm not gonna say something to him. Like, I don't know.
I think it depends for me, it depends on how disruptive. Like if they're like kicking my seat and screaming and stuff, like I will say something. But if they're just being like kind of loud, then yeah, I'm totally like I would never say anything. I would just sit there and deal with it and roll my eyes and be annoyed.
Depends on the restaurant too. Like if you're just out at like a
Applebee's, yeah.
Applebee's,
Some
you know,
crappy place and it's like, whatever. You expect that.
but if you're going somewhere where you're gonna pay like 20 to 30 or more dollars on your meal, it's like you're there for an environment. But I don't know. I'm like Josh. I probably still wouldn't say anything and just bitch about it later. The only time I'd ever say anything about kids is like you're talking about, like on a plane. If somebody's kicking my seat or something and screaming behind me, I've said stuff because that's close quarters. You're on a plane.
What do you say? What did you say?
Oh, I was just like, hey, can you please just ask your kid to stop kicking my chair? I was like, it's uncomfortable. And they're like, yeah, sorry. They were embarrassed by it. And I get it. Like,
But they're seeing their kid do it and they didn't say anything.
I don't know. Maybe they weren't seeing it. Maybe they were reading or something and not paying attention. But, and I don't know. I try to be understanding now that I'm dating someone who has an almost 4-year-old. Like, I get it. But I also don't, as, like, when we're out, I'm very aware of that. Like if John starts like acting up or whatever, I
Mm-hmm.
have zero tolerance for that. Like I don't want to be the bit embarrassing dude with like the annoying kid. So it's just like I'm like, you better lock that up, or we're like going outside,
We're
or we're
leaving,
going
yeah.
Yeah.
Next question. What quality would you like to improve in yourself?
Oh, that's a deep
It's
thinker right
deep.
there.
Yeah,
Mm.
thought we were going all topical.
Well, I'll do surface level. I'm bad at being on time. I'm late all the time. I wish I was more punctual because people think that means that I'm one of those people who expects everyone to be late. I'm not one of those like respect my time like assholes. Like I don't know. I just don't like people who are like always on time and like if you're not in time then you've disrespected me. I'm like, no, if I'm not in time, that means I didn't whatever. It's like a lot of things happen. And it just like makes me feel so bad because so many people like traumatize me into thinking like I'm disrespectful if I'm a little bit late. And when honestly, it's like I just hit traffic or I just can't get my ass out of bed on time. Like it's nothing personally against them, but people take it personally, man. And I just really wish it was more of a priority for me to be on time for stuff, but I'm just not. I don't care if I'm 5, 10 minutes late. I expect everything to start 5 or 10 minutes late.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I get why people, I not really disrespect or get offended, but to me, it like when people are late, it gives the appearance that you don't care, and I know why it gives that appearance because for me, if it's something that I'm like want to do or I'm excited about, like most of the time I'm awkwardly early because I'm like, okay, calculating traffic, I'm like doing all this stuff,
No,
and
we
I'm
were
like,
all
okay, I'm gonna be
so
there.
late to the music video.
But
We were
yeah,
all
stuff
like
that I
30
don't.
minutes
Yeah.
late, and I was so embarrassed. I was like, because that is something I cared about, and that is something I really wanted to do, but it was like that traffic was
Yeah,
insane.
that was out of our hands. But I guess more to my point though is a lot of the things that I do end up being late to are, yeah, I don't really care about it that much. So I wasn't like purposely trying to be early. So if I know that about myself, then if somebody else is late, then it's easy to assume that, oh, they just didn't care or it's not a priority for them. Um,
I know,
but
but that's not it. I wish people knew. It's just me. Like I just can't. I just don't or I overestimate underestimate how long it takes things to like get done like in the morning or like on my way there, you know.
yeah, and if
Yeah.
you're late, it's usually not a lot. Like A has a friend who is just known that she is like notoriously late all the time, and it's like insane. Like she's one of those like if you actually want to meet up at 1, tell her to meet at 11 a.m. because she's
Mm.
gonna be like 2 hours late. She just
Oh,
does her thing,
yeah.
and but even though everybody knows she's like that, they still it's just like she doesn't care about our time or like respect the like, hey, we made plans or whatever. She just is in la la land living her own life, and it's like, so I think there's a degree of like forgiveness. It's like 5 or 10 minutes late, whatever, it happens. You're showing up 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours late, then that gets into disrespectful territory.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Josh, what are you improving about yourself?
Wait, Steve didn't go.
Oh, am I next?
Well, no, Josh is next. Josh can go.
next. I would say I'm really bad at procrastinating. Like, it sucks, but like I have like these boxes in my car that I've been meaning to like recycle for like a week now. I could have went
Go do it.
today.
Go do it. Go do it
I
right now. We're
know, and
done.
but it's like that with it. I don't know. It's so weird because I'll go through phases. It's like I'll go through phases of procrastination. Like one week I'll be super motivated to get like everything done in a timely manner. Then I feel so much better about it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just like I've definitely use the excuse of like I'll do it tomorrow a lot. with
Yeah.
I mean, not when it's serious stuff or when it's like stuff that needs to be done in like I always meet like a deadline if I have to, but when it's just like cleaning or something like that,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it's but I hate it though. Like it irks me, because I feel so much better when I just do it. Um, cause I mean, but I was like sort of like even when I was in school, procrastinating was definitely a battle, you know. But
Definitely easier with things that you're not like thrilled to do.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and it's just way easier to not do them and I don't know, watch something or play a video game or do something I like,
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
What about you, Steve?
I don't know. Maybe I'm getting deep here, but I feel like for me, I've always tried to be better about it. I feel like I'm way too self-conscious, or like I wish I didn't care so much what people thought about me, because I feel like there's a lot of things that I don't do, or I don't put myself in situations because I'm just intimidated by like doing it alone, because I feel like there's attention on me, or it's like I don't want to, like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of examples like people go on trips alone. They're like, hey, I'm just going to go to this country, I'm going to go experience, or like I would never do that, because I just, first of all, it's like I kind of want, I'm a shared experiences person, but also just like, I don't know, just doing the trip alone, I feel like then the people around me that I'm interacting with, it's like all the attention's on me. Whereas when I'm with other people, then it's like a group thing. We're just hanging out. Like I don't like going to restaurants and just eating at a restaurant alone, because I feel like people are looking at me, or like I finally got the nerve a couple years ago to go like the Nashville game jams or 48-hour film festivals, to go to try to network. But I feel like I would be further along with like things that I want to do if I had more confidence to just go and talk to people that I don't know, and put myself out there and like assert myself into certain situations. But I turned down a lot of those opportunities, just because, I'm just like afraid of something, rejection, or whatever. I don't know.
Hmm.
So there's like confidence. Like I look at people that are very confident, and it's like, man, I wish I had that.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of like when we talk about it, like the band and stuff. Like people always think it's crazy that I hate karaoke and I'm terrified of karaoke. Then they're always like, "But you're in a band." I'm like, "Well, first of all, I'm not singing in the band. I'm playing guitar. But second of all, there's 3, 4 other people on stage with me. So
Yeah.
the it's not all
mm,
me. But I'm terrified of
I
karaoke."
think something must have happened to you, like in your past, where you did something and you got made fun of, and it kind of like squashed your like.
Oh,
Again,
I got made fun of my entire like childhood for multiple different reasons. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's just like me just always trying to be like fit in with the cool
yeah,
kids, and just
yeah,
like avoid, if I don't do these things, then I can just avoid being made fun of. You
yeah.
know?
But you're not gonna get made fun of now. You're a grown person, and
Yeah,
people like
you never
truly
know. My
don't
best
care.
friends still make fun of my voice and like things
Well,
like.
yeah, that's different. But yeah, if I mean, maybe we should all be a little bit more sensitive to things like that. It's like your friends kind of bust your balls, but maybe, you know, we never really talked about it. And maybe we should be more sensitive to each other's like insecurities and stuff.
Well, it it doesn't bother me when my friends do it, because they are my friends.
You
But
kind of
maybe
just
there's
got
a
to like
subconscious,
embrace it though.
yeah, maybe there's a subconscious like, well, if my friends are gonna do it, what's gonna stop anybody else from doing it? Or maybe there's some even
People
though it's a
just
tease,
don't
maybe there's some
care. Like,
legitimacy behind it.
people just care about themselves. They are not thinking about you, like, at all. At all. Like, that's one thing that growing older has definitely taught me, the things that I've worked through. It's like, people do not care. They're not sitting there thinking about you. Are you sitting there thinking about other people?
I don't know. Sometimes people watch, and I'm sitting there like judging or whatever.
Yeah, but who the fuck cares? You don't even know them, and they don't know you.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was a really bad motivational speech, but yeah, we all got shit to work on. I'm a procrastinator too, for sure. I think that's why I'm always late.
Yeah.
Cause like, I think Sean said on Facebook that I leave everything to the last second, including getting out of bed. Like if I don't set my alarm and I'm not like excited to wake up in the morning, at literally the very last minute I can get up. And I just, it's so bad.
And
Yeah.
that's where it's weird for me because it's only with I wait for the last minute for literally everything, but I can be on time because I definitely plan it out. It's so weird. I don't like I have an email that I'm supposed to give my boss that I've had it for like a month and like it's from like a school thing or whatever, and like I got a follow-up text and email like, can you get this to him, please? It's due in June. So it's just
So
like in
you're
my
like, I'm
head,
just
I'm
gonna
like,
do it in June.
well, I don't need to worry about it, even though it would literally take me 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But it's just, then I forget about it. That's another thing.
Yeah,
I get
forgetting. Yeah.
forgetful, yeah, about stuff. So,
Dylan
yeah.
says he's traveling St. Louis to get an autograph for chess, and he's going alone. And yeah, I mean that's something that I wouldn't do.
The Cheddars and have a whole ass meal just alone. Sit at the bar. That's what
I've
the bar
gotten
is
a little
for.
better
Solo
about
travelers.
restaurants. I've gotten to the point where I can do restaurants.
You just have to like get over it. Get over yourself too, really. Like just get over it. I need to eat.
You end up, and it's
A
very
big part
like,
of that, but the big part of
freeing.
the concerts thing though is I'm just such a shared experience as person. Like I finally went to a movie alone like last year. I went to see, I think it was Spider-Man or something, then Far From Home or whatever. And while I was there, it was fine. I'm watching the movie, I'm enjoying the movie. But it's like as soon as it's over and I'm walking out, it's like I want to start talking to my friends or whatever and be like, "Oh, that part, and did you see this?" And I'm just like walking out by myself, and I'm like, "Okay." And it's like I'm looking at all these strangers, and I want to kind of like talk to them about it, but I don't know them, and I'm just like, "Well, I guess I had fun with that." And me,
Then you can chat all you want.
like for travel too, if you go travel and you do this hike and there's this big scenic thing, did that scenic sunset happen if there was nobody there to share it with you to like remember it later?
You gotta experience stuff for
it's for
yourself. It's
yourself.
for you.
Yeah.
Like how internalize that moment. Be like, man, this is fucking cool. It doesn't matter if you share it with somebody. It's a social media brain rotting inside of you right now. But like, I'm not gonna lie.
I'm
Like,
home and tell somebody about it, and unless I have another person to back me up, they're gonna be like, "Nah, that didn't happen."
yeah. I mean, I definitely see where you're coming from. Like, I went to Europe by myself, met up with school trip, met up with a group of kids, but before I went alone for like a week and I did all the sightseeing stuff. I'm like, you're not alone. I stayed at a hostel. You're constantly around people. I made friends, like, you know, and it was really, really cool. But also I was like, I really wish that there was somebody doing this stuff with me. Like I was just alone. So it was a little like, took away a little bit of that because you do want to share it with somebody, but it was still fucking the coolest thing I've ever done.
Down the road, you can like remember the time.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Tommy me and him are very much alike in that way in personality, and he just went to Spain on a work trip, and so he was with work people, but he ended up staying a day or two on. So these were people he was meeting for the first time. So it wasn't like he had friends there. And he said the same thing. He was like, "Yeah, the days that I was like, it felt weird not
I wouldn't go to Universal by myself. I feel like that's like when he said that he got bored easily. It's like if you don't have somebody to like talk about what you're doing, you're just kind of like,
Yeah.
well, that was cool. And, maybe you get on your phone. I guess at least we have that, you're connected to the whole world. Just text somebody.
Yeah, to be honest, that I kind of experienced that at Corey and AJ's wedding, because when I went to their wedding cruise, um, it was pretty much just their family and then like me, and then it was their wedding cruise, so they wanted to do a lot of stuff, together, and so there was a lot of time that I'm just walking around the cruise, hanging out by myself, like chilling at the pool. And then when we landed in Jamaica, they had a special trip that they wanted to do for the two of them, and I just kind of looked up something and I was like, oh, there's a waterfall hike thing, whatever, I'll do this. And I just rode the bus through Jamaica,
That's
did it
cool.
by myself with like a group of
Yeah.
other tourists from the thing, and
That's cool.
I didn't know anybody, and
But you get
it
to
was
know
fine.
people.
Yeah, it was fine. And then some local conned me into going to the back of a tent and buying weed from him. And then, like,
Dude, Steve is 100% the member of the band who would get kidnapped and conned. Remember the New Orleans? Remember New Orleans?
oh, yeah, the $20
Was Josh
Oh.
there for that?
thing, so. Or no,
I mean, I've been to New Orleans, but I don't know.
Were you on the New Orleans tour with us? I think that was with June Divided.
man.
Was he in the band?
We had gone to New Orleans. That might have been like on the In This Moment or something. I can't remember.
no, this was a smaller tour for
We've
sure.
been to this was like, I 100% it was with June Divided.
Yeah, I was before.
That was before you joined the band?
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you $20, or you give me $20 if I could tell you where you got your shoes.
Yeah.
And he's like, you got your shoes. You got them on your feet, right here on Bourbon Street in New Orleans or whatever. No,
Well,
Bourbon
there
Street's
was
Memphis.
He made $20 saying
And you were like, and everyone was like making fun, and he was like, "Where's my money, man?" Like, you are 100% like.
I'm too trusting.
You say
I'm
that
really
you're too trusting. You
Mm.
say that you're like not outgoing, blah blah blah, but it's like that's what makes you easy prey for these scam artists because you're like, wow, someone's talking to me, cool.
Yeah, let's chat. Like, if
Yeah,
somebody
let's
else
chat.
thinks
I'll go into your fucking weird tent. What?
well, no,
You
it
could
was
have gotten
like-
murdered or trafficked.
It was a bunch of tents, like, when you get to the end of the waterfall and they have all the tourist traps. And, like, hey,
Uh-huh.
let's see
Yeah.
these gadgets. And so I'm walking by, you want this? You want this?
Yeah, but
Nah,
you look
nah,
like an
nah.
easy.
And then some guy comes up to me and he's like arm over the shoulder and he's
Oh
like,
my
"Hey,"
God,
and I'm
no.
like, not really. And he's like, sure. I'm like, well, sometimes, but and then he's like, okay, we'll come. And then he like brought me behind.
And then you feel too bad. You
he
gotta
had, like,
be
a
more aggressive.
briefcase.
You
He had
have
a
to.
briefcase, and I was like, and I'm like trying to politely talk my way out of it, and then I ended up leaving with like a little bag of weed, and he sold me like a wooden pipe or something, and I'm like, I don't even smoke, like whatever.
Dude, see?
man.
If
But then
thank
I
God
saw
there's no traveling salesmen these days because you'd have people on your doorstep every fucking day. You'd be Avon. You'd have all.
You have all these investments.
Yeah, you probably. I mean,
I've
please
learned my
tell me that
lesson.
you don't.
I have been scammed a couple times online, but I've not.
But
any-
money stuff.
No, like, well, like with the emails, it's like, hey, your password. or
Oh
whatever.
God.
I've
Yeah.
gotten-
No, you did that for the Nearly Deads one time. And I was like, bro, that was obviously a scam. And you like got our account hacked or something. Cause you were like, hey, the nearlydeads.com Anyway, I'll never forget that. I'm sorry that I'm making fun of you. 'Cause I don't want you to feel bad about it, but like, yeah.
Yeah, me and my dad are like polar opposites. He trusts literally nobody and gives everybody the third degree, and I literally trust everybody. Anybody that's gonna talk to me, I'm like, oh yeah, you seem cool. You're trustworthy. I'm like, there's got to be like a happy medium in between that.
But when it starts going south, you need like an out. You need the aggression to be like, this conversation's over.
Yeah.
I don't want to buy any weed, whatever.
I smuggled
Yeah, you're
it
too
on the
nice.
cruise,
Maybe
and
that's
then I
it.
ended up
Yeah,
giving
you're
it
just
to
too
the
nice.
girl I met that
Yeah.
I liked, and she smoked. I was like, "Here, I got this for you." Not really, but I'll say I got it for you. Here you
Some
go.
gross Jamaican weed. Ugh.
I don't know. Isn't that where it's supposed to be cool, like Bob Marley?
Oh, I guess you're right. I don't really know. I don't
that's
know.
probably-
Well, what do you think, Josh? Do you think Steve is just too nice? Is that the problem?
Yeah, you're just a nice guy, Steve.
You're a nice
Hey.
guy.
Yeah.
Gosh,
Oh
don't
yeah.
lick my lollipop.
Oh my God. All
Got
right. Well,
little
that was a fun
helicopters in your
question.
cap.
Soulqueef said, "I've been experiencing stuff by myself my whole life, and now I wish I had more people to share experiences with. Well, come on down to Nashville. We'll have some experiences.
Yeah, we'll share some experiences with you.
Experience the album release show."
This is a good question since we kind of dipped our toe in the deep end of the pool.
Oh no.
Are the world's ethics evolving or devolving? What do you guys think? And in the chat, what do we think? The ethics of the world, are we getting better and wiser, or are we devolving?
Can it be a little bit of both?
It kind of is a bit of both. That's
Yeah, it's kind of like sort of. I feel like things that were like not okay, are getting better. Like as we get more progressive,
Mm-hmm.
and like how we treat each other and stuff. But then at the same time, I feel like there's other things that just like other values or whatever that like are sort of declining, or people don't take us serious anymore, or they're a little bit laxer about. Yeah, I think maybe it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
What kind of things do you think are devolving? Ethically devolving.
Yeah, well, I think like I don't know, like parenting values maybe a little bit, maybe like how it's like I know, being agnostic, I know that there's a lot of flaws in religion, but I also think there's a lot of value in faith, and I think we take faith less seriously nowadays, where I think it's a good foundation for like treating other people right and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't know. I think work ethic values and stuff like that, but that's not really.
Dude, that has definitely devolved. Not everybody though, but
yeah, as far as, and I
Yeah.
think like the value, like the value of hard work, the value of like I think we become, or I think
everyone's entitled.
yeah,
Is that what
because
you mean?
technology, yeah, everything's technology
Everyone
makes
wants
everything
it.
easier.
Yeah, they don't understand. Yeah,
It's like we're just owed this.
they don't know how to work to earn something.
Or they don't understand the value of like, especially in like what we do in the arts.
Yeah.
Like stuff like Netflix and Spotify and all these things are making this, like, you can get a huge volume of entertainment at a very cheap price. So people don't understand what goes into creating that in the first place. So then if you even ask for anything like, hey, pay me $10 for my CD, why would I do that?
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know, things like that. Soulqueef says certain things are better, other things are worse. Some total think it's improving. Staying optimistic.
I mean, yeah, like we don't have slaves anymore. We don't, women can vote, and there's like, yeah, lots of improvements. women can have credit cards, and there's some weird fact that you couldn't even have, as a woman, you couldn't even have a credit card like less than 30 years ago or something like that.
And now
Unless it was in your husband's name.
multiple types of women getting all these things too. I said now we're moving. Now it's not just equality for men and women. It's equality for multiple kinds of men and
People, humans, they'll let anybody get into debt. So I saw this TikTok that was like, so really, my 5 maxed out credit cards is progress or whatever, because I'm a single woman or whatever. I thought that was really funny. But yeah, for sure, you can't obviously things are way better than they were, but I think the entitlement is kind of hard to see happening with like younger people, but not all younger people are like that though. Like some have really good, grasp of the world and are very like hard workers and stuff. And
depends on the upbringing.
I think it depends on their parents, yeah. But we realize we know so much more now. Like everyone's going to therapy, everyone's talking about their feelings, like everyone's like getting it out, and that's very celebrated in the culture this day and age. And it wasn't when we were all growing up, and especially when our parents were growing up, everything was like swept under the rug. Nobody talked about their feelings, nobody talked about body image and things, like all of those things. Like that's the number one thing, like body positivity and like talking about your feelings and like speaking up when something's not right. That's like Gen Z, like they got that on lock.
It's good, but then I think it's also like one of those in the overall topic. I think that's another thing though that sort of, yes, there's progress, but then also I think gets taken a little bit too far. I think everything in life, there needs to be a moderation. You can't have like an extreme, and I think a lot of people use that sort of sometimes as excuses or like, to not have accountability.
Oh yeah, accountability, like entitlement and no sense of accountability for your actions.
There's a lot of people, it's like mental health is very important, but I think there are people who use it as just kind of a cop out, like, or
personal responsibility. That's what Soul Queef said.
Yeah. And then it's like the body image thing too. It's like, yeah, you should never shame somebody, but you also shouldn't be okay with being extremely unhealthy. And, that's problematic as well. And you shouldn't encourage friends, being that I have friends in my life who, it's a life or
they're
death
like
thing.
addicted to food. That's different than just like being a normal sized human.
Yeah.
That's like a totally different situation than what I'm kind of talking about, but
yeah, so I'm saying there's extremes that we need to get away from and then find that balance.
Also, what do you think about like suing culture? Like, I love that Soul Queef said hard work and personal accountability aren't valued because people don't have a sense of personal accountability. Like, oh, maybe it was my fault that I slipped in the store. It's like, no, it's always somebody else's fault. What are you going to do for me? How can I work this? Because it couldn't possibly be my fault. If your child, like something happens to your child because you weren't watching it, well, maybe it's the place's fault or whatever. Like there's so many scenarios of like, well,
I think
everyone blames everyone.
Has kind of died down. I think suing was at its peak. Remember when the story came out, that lady that sued McDonald's because she spilled her coffee and burned herself?
She started it. She started people being able to do that. That was the first one. That was like back in the 80s, dude.
Yeah.
Well, no, I was alive when that happened. I was alive in the 80s, but I mean, I was old enough to be aware. I think it was early 90s or something, but that was sort of like...
It was a big deal, but then it set it off to be like, wow, this company is actually liable for this. And so people take advantage of that. People shoplift like crazy and just steal and take and scam. Like, I'm worried about that kind of stuff. Like, people make their living selling counterfeit goods, stealing and selling stuff. and organized retail crime and things like that, where they're literally stealing TVs and shit from, just anyway, stuff like that like scares the shit out of me because like, how are you supposed to stop it?
Yeah.
Sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks to want to be like, what do we need? More cops, like more guns, like what do we need? And I'm against like all of that stuff, but it's like, but now people are like running fucking feral and just taking stuff and not learning how to work or put in hard work or earn stuff, and it drives prices up and inflation's crazy. So it's like this is coming to like a head, and then bam, like another bank is gonna fail, and like then another bank's gonna fail, and the housing market's gonna crash, and it's just like we're
I
all
think the
fucked.
world is just too big. It's like
Too
a
many
lot of these
people.
things. Like when well, I just mean those issues are more easily solved because it's contained.
There's too
That
many
1,000
people.
people
Yeah.
probably pretty like-minded, whatever. But the world is billions and billions of people, and so there's really no blanket thing that works
It's
for
just
everyone, for every
society,
environment.
like
It's
Yeah,
part of
now
it.
you're all
moral code.
connected. You
Yeah.
know about
know.
everything. Yeah.
And it's
And like politics is one of those things that it's like, yeah, it's gotten we're not in the dark ages, like democracy works to a degree, but at the same time,
it's kind of
I mean, it's a
corrupt.
huge issue right now. It's super corrupt, and like I don't want to be this guy, but it's like I see my friends get in arguments and like lose friendship over politics, and it's like, dude, do you think either side has your best interest in mind? They're all bought by companies who do it because they want kickbacks. Like, no, it doesn't matter if you're this side or this side.
Yeah.
Neither of it is in it for you. They're in it for their party, for them, their power, their notoriety, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just the system that we've built, and it's
Well,
a
it's
bad.
the laws. Like, there should be, I think there is a bill that is being introduced that says, like, Congress people can't have stakes in companies that they, like, work with anymore, because a lot of times that is what it is. Like, oh, I'm on
Yeah,
the
'cause,
board
like,
with
insider trading
ExxonMobil
and stuff.
or whatever. I'm an advisor for ExxonMobil, or I'm a shareholder for ExxonMobil. So, of course, I'm going to make policy that benefits them. That should
Right.
be illegal, but
They
it's
try
not.
to, but it's like we've all
They'll
seen the
never
movies
win
like
because,
Prohibition and like all this stuff. There's always a back door somewhere that you can get
Mhm.
around that.
And honestly, I don't want to be like a mega conspiracy theorist, or like maybe I watch too much Scandal, but I honestly feel like people do get
Oh, I
Yeah.
believe it.
unalived
Yeah.
over stuff like that, like the
Back when
Kennedys.
Hillary was
We
knocking
s-
everybody
this is
down
big. This
left
is
and
becoming a
right.
conspiracy theory podcast very
Yeah.
quickly. What did
It-
you say about Hillary?
Oh, during that election cycle, like it was like all these people that were like coming out like, about the Clintons, like during her campaign, just kept ending up dead. And everybody's like, Hillary's out there, like hiring bounty hunters, sniping. Don't say shit about Hillary. You're gonna die. You're gonna be
I
in a body
mean,
bag.
it's a joke. I mean, I'm sure those were jokes, but it is ironic, right? Like people end up just missing,
Well, hey, it's the
or
Yeah.
Chester.
And
nobody
it's
talks about it because they own the press.
Yeah.
They're shareholders of fucking Fox or whatever. Like, it's just fucked up. We're definitely on a watch list now.
Chris
I
Cornell
know.
and Chester thing, they were doing a whole documentary about child trafficking, and they both ended up committing
Oh,
suicide.
yeah.
Like that was a
Really?
there.
Yeah.
Should we like
Uh,
be protecting Ashton Kutcher? Isn't his big mission in life to stop like human trafficking?
Yeah, he needs bodyguards. He needs something.
Probably
because
has bodyguards.
It was Chris first, and he hung himself, and then Chester, they were best friends. They worked on, they were very involved in it together in those charities, and they were putting together a documentary about child trafficking in politics and in like big Hollywood names and stuff like that. And, I don't want to say I don't. Nobody can tell
They
what
could
somebody,
also have been doing that, but also been,
yeah, mentally ill or whatever.
mentally, yeah.
But it's hard to see because you look, it's like, Link Park was doing great. He had a family, he had kids, like, you know. But we say that about a lot of like comedians, different people that end up killing themselves,
Yeah.
in the stats. So who really knows? But it was just kind of coincidence that both
Yeah.
of them had been working on this together, and they both committed suicide a year apart. Like, I don't know. It just seems
Yeah.
conspiracy theories are fun to kind of like dig into, but take them with a grain of salt for sure.
This is kind of a funny. We need to switch it up.
Yeah.
Would you write a reference for a friend who you feel is poorly qualified?
Ooh. Like a really good friend, or like they like your best friend?
I mean,
Ooh.
no, I don't think I could do it. But I've definitely given people good references even when I didn't think they deserved one. Because I just feel bad for people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, maybe they'll get their act together for this job. I mean, it doesn't hurt me in any way to be like, yeah, they were great.
Yeah.
And just let it be. They'll figure it out. It'll be their
That's
problem
true.
now.
Yeah, I don't know. When people have asked me about people that I, don't necessarily think they're the best at something or aren't my favorite, what I do in those situations is I just try to kind of think about like, okay, well, what qualities do they have that I do think are good qualities, and then just kind of bring light to that, and then I don't feel like I'm completely lying or whatever. It's like, oh yeah, they're really not good at this, and this, but in my mind, I'm like, well, they're, well, I don't want to bring band, it's like, oh, but they're very social and,
You would just point out
friendly,
the positives and not the negatives.
Yeah. Yeah.
good
Yeah.
with the fans and energetic.
Good
You
hair.
know, you know, Josh.
Yeah.
Some of these questions are not that fun. Oh no. What would you do if you were driving at night and hit a dog? These are fucked up. These are not cool.
Wait,
Cry?
Dylan says
I
my
don't-
friends wouldn't ask me because they know me. I'd be like, that asshole stole my tractor and my sister all in one night.
Oh.
That's a country song for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of country songs, friggin' T Swift out there. I guess she's pop now.
Nashville is she doing her weekend?
Oh, it's happened.
It's happened. The 3 shows are already done.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I saw videos of people and like insane to
Great.
fill a freaking arena and then have the entire street and parking lot just mobbed with tens of thousands of additional Taylor Swift fans. I mean, it's insane.
I
crazy.
think they said that. Well, she's for sure the biggest female like touring act ever, but like she's basically like our generation's Michael Jackson. Like that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
She's killing it, killing the game.
I was like literally crying over seeing videos because they pop up on TikTok of her song. I don't even know what it's called. Love Story. And it's like, baby, just say yes. That song.
I don't know.
I'll
yeah,
be the
I've listened
you'll
to
be
it.
the prince and you'll be the it's a love story, baby, just say yes. It's like one of her like country-ish songs.
I've never like
Like
gone
when
out
she
of my way
first
to like
kinda-
look up and listen
Yeah.
to a Taylor Swift song, but
It's like
so
a song that
my only
everybody like
exposure
knows.
is, like,
It's like-
what I've heard out.
But there was like, so there's this trend of men proposing during that specific part of the song when she's talking about just say yes. It's so cute. And I'm not even like a massive fan, but the videos are so cute because these guys get their girls tickets to Taylor Swift, bring their little ring, and then like at that point in the song, they get on one knee and like the whole place around them, it's mobbed with people and everyone's just screaming and everyone's crying and singing along, and then like this guy gets on his knee and it's like everyone's like screaming and everyone's filming it and it's just like so cute. I just start bawling.
Oh
It's
yeah, it's like
fucking romantic.
how many people got engaged on this tour?
Oh, so many. Probably like, oh my God. Like,
Oh, okay. So
probably
you're
so
making
many
it
people.
cute. That brings up a question for us, our chat. Tommy told me to ask it in the chat.
Okay.
So we were talking last night. We went out and we were talking about something, and then I was talking about like because I had just listened to the bands playing for The Cure, and there was an interview, and some guy was talking to Robert Smith and was like, "Hey, you know, I think you're awesome," or no, as the co-host said, he got to meet him and was like, it was like his dream interview. And at the beginning, he was like, "Yeah, I was just like, hey, thanks for doing this with me. You know, I love your music. Been a big fan. By the way, I lost my virginity, you know, listening to, you know, whatever song." And Robert Smith was like, "Oh yeah, we get that a lot, but you know, it's cool. I appreciate it. You know, whatever. You know, it's like kind of whatever." And it made me think like that's like a sign of making it like. So show of hands, who's lost their virginity to the Nearly Deads? Like,
Oh my
I want to know who
God. That's none of our business. That's so creepy.
it's
That's
like,
so creepy.
but we were talking about that, and it made me think. I was like, I wonder if anybody has ever got it on to the Nearly Deads.
I'm sure people have.
Does that mean does our music like do it? Well, because he was saying that he had an ex-girlfriend that she had a song that every time she heard that song, it just like got her in the mood or whatever, and she wanted to make out or something about that song. And I was like, the Nearly Dead, we're not that kind of band. I don't know. Maybe just one of our song is like do it for people, and they're just like, oh, I hear this song and from the Nearly Deads, and you know, this is like.
I feel like we
don't-
need to
I don't
write
think we're
one
that
now.
kind
I feel like we need to write one now.
of band. Right.
Yeah.
A sexy, sexy song.
Nearly Dead. Like,
The Nearly Dead's After Dark.
Oh.
Oh
very
Lord. Oh God. I don't know. That's creepy to think. I don't want to think about that. I mean, I guess
We
it's
could
like
be the
it's
band
it's
that
like I'm not
asks
like
bands
thinking about
to do-
people doing it. I'm just like, well, I want, you know,
Uh,
because I remember like making out with my girlfriend in the car to like while Emery or May or something's in the background.
yeah.
You know, it's like, are people making out in the car with the Nearly Dead in the
Maybe.
background? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, if yeah, I'd say it's possible. If it's on a playlist, you just got music rolling.
Yeah, nobody intentionally picked.
Yeah,
a
nobody's
they're
like,
not like,
wow,
I
this
gotta-
song is so romantic.
Yeah.
Let's make out.
In fact, when our song came in, they were just like, "Oh, what is this? This really killed the mood."
Oh, no, they're too busy rocking out. They're like making out, and then they're like, hold up.
Wait,
This is a
hold
really
on
good
second.
song. Can we just like stop what we're doing for a minute and just listen to this epic song?
That's definitely what happens.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you didn't ask the question I thought you were going to ask. I thought you were just going to ask everybody what song they lost their virginity to. And I was like, this is going to be gross. Like, why would you ever ask that?
No,
I mean, I guess it's like,
most of our fans like lost their virginity way before we even formed. So
yeah,
I just meant, you know, I don't know.
we don't know. We have fans from all over. We could have some virgins. We
Yeah.
don't know.
We do
We've
have
got
some
married
young-
people. We got a mix. We got married people. We got old guys. We got young people. We got a mix.
Yeah, speed punk on YouTube. We need to get some sax.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That'll be like the big inside joke though. So for like the next album, right? We're going to just make it the like songs to have sex to album, but like in a tongue-in-cheek way. It'll be funny.
Yeah.
Like in a funny way.
Love it.
Yeah, I mean, man, if you're fucking shit, it is funny though, because you know, you have the playlist on, things are going on, you know, random, and then it's like, it's weird when something comes on that you're just like, this is not what I want to be listening to right now. Like, would you ever lean over and hit skip? Like, or have you ever?
Soul Queef says it's the Nearly Sexy album. Yeah, not quite sexy.
Nearly
Yeah.
sexy.
Nearly so.
Yeah.
Well, was that the grand finale?
I think that was the grand finale. What?
Way to end it.
Yeah, Doolin said song title number 1 would be called Wrong Hole.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
a bit
song
on the
number
edge.
2, Is It In Yet? What? This is getting nasty.
Oh,
But like, Blink used to talk about fucking sex in a lot of their
All the
songs.
time. Yeah, that was kind
Yeah.
of their
That's their thing.
overtly dirty.
I'm sure that, I mean, they still talk about it on stage. I'm going to see them next week. I'm excited.
Nice.
Look at it.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the TikTok I sent you about that guy? He was outside of the concert, and his is an account that I follow, and he asks people for money, and like if somebody gives him the money, then he gives them like this crazy stuff, because so many people are like, no, sorry man, I don't have any money. Anyway, and then he gives them like crazy stuff. He gave this $500. They got to meet Tom, VIP tickets, the whole 9 yards. And he just plucked him out of like the line. He was just
Yeah.
going down the line, being like, "Hey, do you have like $2 for me?"
I think didn't he ask him for $1?
$1.82.
Yeah. That's awesome. He was like taking his daughter, like it was her first.
It's
She had
those.
like a Blink shirt on. It was
Yeah,
pretty cool.
it was super cute. Stuff like that is cute. I love seeing TikToks like that. I love seeing people get engaged at Taylor Swift concerts. I just like love like all those moments that like music helps make, and like I only hope that one day we can be successful enough to like stuff like that kind of happens to people who like listen to us and our community of people and our fans. Like
Yeah.
hopefully, I would love to
Yeah.
be able to, you know, share the spread the
Positive.
wealth. I don't know.
Positivity, share the positivity.
Yeah, share the wealth and do good things for other people, you know, through our music and through hopefully our success. We'll see. But
Yeah,
I'm coming up soon, so stay tuned, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight and playing our weird game. And
Yeah.
be careful on the road. Apparently, don't drive. I will tell you, one time Javier picked me up from the airport. One time, I never ever got a ride from him again.
Well, now that he's not here, I feel like we are all a little on edge on tour if he was driving. But
Worst.
yeah.
Fair driver on tour because it was his van. There was a trailer with a lot of gear. He was definitely much safer. Like he said, it's the scenario. If he's in
Who
the
was
Yeah.
better at
He
driving,
was-
me or Javi?
Javi?
I don't know.
I know I didn't really drive. You guys never let me.
Like twice.
Yeah, I mean, you only drove. Like, I honestly though, when you drove, I never felt like, I don't know. It was Kevin, I think. but
Kevin was
we
the
don't have to talk
worst.
about it.
I could
Yeah.
not sleep when he was driving at night.
Yeah, yeah. Nobody else really like it was.
I was
fine.
like white knuckled the whole time because I was like, we're gonna just jackknife and that's it. That's gonna be it. We're all gonna die in the van. Luckily we didn't. All right, well, have a good night, everybody. This was fun, and we will see you next month. Bye.
Please.